Hey, Ariel, we had Randy Couture in studio earlier this week, obviously six-time UFC champion in the Hall of Fame. We were talking earlier about Conor McGregor and his relationship with Dana White. You yourself are someone that has had a little bit of a tumultuous relationship with Dana White in the UFC. Randy Couture said he has zero relationship with the UFC, and he's pretty much banned from entering any events. Are we going to see a shift in this now that the UFC's been sold and from that kind of attitude where they had before? I mean, how do you have one of your most legendary fighters of all time not a part of anything?
You know, I think I mentioned this when I was in studio back in June, and I've said this on numerous shows before. I really feel like we're kind of in the 1920s football era right now, and we're going to look back on this time in 30, 40 years and say, I can't believe things were being done this way. And witness the fact that last night here in Las Vegas, a group called the Professional Fighters Association, led by Jeff Boris, longtime baseball agent for the likes of Ricky Henderson, Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, and many others, he is trying to start a fighters union. And this is something that has never been done before. He's trying to unionize the UFC fighters. He's been walking around the MGM and the Red Rock Casino, which is where the fighters are staying this week, talking all the fighters, all the managers that he can, get their ear. And, there could be a lot of changes. The UFC has kind of pushed the fighters in this direction with instituting the Reebok uniform deal, with instituting the USADA drug testing, with the TV deal, which the fighters don't get any cut of. So, yeah, a lot of things can change in the next few years. It's just a matter of, do the fighters want to kind of step outside of their comfort zone and make a few sacrifices for the greater good of the sport, for themselves, for the future of the sport. They haven't shown a great interest in doing that. I think it's, understandably so, because they're a little bit afraid of repercussions. But if they can just sort of band together and recognize that they're leaving a lot of money and a lot of rights at the bargaining table, I think they would be better off. And who knows what that will lead to if the likes of Randy Couture will have a better relationship, if the new ownership will lead, try to reach out to Randy, who knows. But I think the first thing that they need to sort of get a handle on is collective bargaining and look at other sports and see how they sort of come together on a unified front, and how the fighters have sort of been, mistreated in many ways because they don't have that unified front in the UFC.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.